Very happy iPhone day to you all out there. I've got some new devices to talk to you about, plus some really cool accessories. But let's start off with this, the brand new iPhone 13 and the brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max. Let's do this here on EMKWAN Reviews. Okay, let's get into this unboxing. We've got a lot to get through. We'll focus on these later on, but first on the actual devices themselves. So as with last year, both these boxes are quite thin, and that's because, like last year, there is no power brick included inside the box. What you'll notice with the iPhone 13, the non-Pro version, is you get this white box, and then with the Pro version, we get this black box. Both of these this year have also got no plastic on the outside. That's because Apple have included just a simple tab that you pull back to actually open the packaging. Let's pull back on the boxes at the same time. There they are, and wow. The Sierra Blue is really, really nice in color, but I'm just gonna pull these both aside. This is the iPhone 13 in this blue color, the iPhone 13 Pro Max in the Sierra Blue, and you can see that there is a difference in size, with the Pro Max being the largest out of the iPhone current lineup. USB-C to Lightning cable, nothing there has really changed. The paperwork, and in both of these, you get a SIM ejector tool, some warranty information, and just one Apple sticker. So the iPhone 13, let's start off quickly with this. And you'll notice from a design perspective, not much has really changed from last year's iPhone 12, which is what I put it right next to. In fact, both of these are the blue color, but you'll notice on the newer iPhone 13, it's more of a pastel-y blue, a bit more lighter. On the back, you'll notice there is a difference between the camera bumps. So the iPhone 13 has a larger camera bump, and then the orientation of the cameras is different from last year's iPhone 12. And other than that, really pretty much everything is the same. So you've got the Lightning port down at the bottom, the speakers, the SIM tray, the volume rocker, the quick mute, the power button. Nothing else really has changed positions, but on the front, there is actually a big difference now on that 6.1-inch display, because if I turn this over, you'll notice now the notch between the two of them is noticeably different. So this is the iPhone 13 with this smaller notch, and the earpiece is actually moved to the top there as well. So the iPhone 13 Pro Max now, and you can see, I mean, that color looks absolutely stunning. Less of a blue in the Sierra Blue and more of a gray. Certainly looks very, very nice, and it's got more of a matte look and feel to it. Now again, with the design, not much has really changed. You've still got that stainless steel band around the middle. Now if I put this next to last year's iPhone 12 Pro Max, you can see the difference. Obviously there is a color difference, but the camera bump here is substantially larger than the previous one, certainly noticeable. Now on the front is a slightly different matter, because we still have that 6.7-inch display on the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but this year one of the big updates is with the display, because it now supports ProMotion. So Super Retina XDR display with ProMotion, which essentially means 120 Hertz refresh rate. And that is certainly noticeable if you compare the two of them. The other thing here between the two models is that you'll see the notch again being smaller. This is the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and that is the brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max. Something related to the ProMotion display, there's nothing in the settings that allows you to have, as a user, any control over that. So it's not like you can turn that off by default. I think it goes without saying the displays on both of these devices are very, very good. What we come to expect from Apple in terms of screen quality. The Pro Max does take a slight edge for me because of that 120 Hertz refresh. Certainly noticeable when you're locking the device, swiping between pages, you know, viewing, gaming, multimedia, whatever it might be. But multimedia, gaming, and all the stuff that you would come to expect on both of these devices are very, very good. Both of these displays also support ceramic shield, which makes them tougher for everyday use, but be careful of those scratches, because with last year's displays that also supported ceramic shield, I noticed that that didn't make them immune from everyday scratches. Right, before we talk more about the iPhone 13s, let's quickly unbox some of these accessories, starting off with this. This is the brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max leather case with MagSafe. I like the silicone cases more than I do the leather cases. I feel the leather cases quality could be improved. They're not bad, but they could be improved. This is a black color leather case, and if we put the iPhone 13 Pro Max inside, you get that little graphic. It looks very nice actually. It does complement the Sierra blue or the grayish color quite nicely, and you see you've got protection down there at the bottom. A see-through case, probably the popular choice for those people that want to show off the color of their iPhones, and why not? This should be easier getting in and out. There we go. And what you'll notice down there is that you do have this bottom area exposed, so something to be aware of there. But the benefit of this is that you do get to see that beautiful color on the back. This is an update to the leather wallet series. So this is a leather wallet that actually does support the Find My feature. So this basically works with your Apple ID. It will attach on the back. This will now alert you if it falls off. Now, it does that by kind of registering the last place that it fell off or was removed. So you need to have this set up with the Find My network. But once you do, the benefit of this means that it'll be easier to locate. Right, this is the last one here, the silicone case with MagSafe. So that's actually a really, really nice color. And again, putting this in here, very, very easy. Once you do, you can see it's in there again with all that support. Certainly has a nicer texture, also slightly cheaper too. All right, so every year Apple talk about the performance upgrades to their new iPhone lineup, and this year is no different because the entire lineup this year has the A15 Bionic chipset. This includes the 6-core CPU, the 5-core GPU. In a nutshell, and in the real world, what that means is from a performance and power viewpoint, these iPhones are a bump up from last year. Now, day to day, some of these improvements might not necessarily be noticeable unless you're doing bench scores, graphic intensive, gaming and applications, or just generally the demand on the chip being more. Here's the thing, with iOS 15 and the software update, but also another internal change that Apple have done by moving things around and increasing the battery, is an improvement over battery life. Now, this is actually quite a big update which will affect most users day to day. iPhone 13 has an improved battery life over last year's iPhone 12, but the one that has the largest improvement is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, with what Apple are claiming almost 2.5 hours better battery life than last year's iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, that's something that's really hard to gauge in this kind of video. You really need longer term testing, and I certainly will do that. So if you want to check out the longer term review, make sure you're subscribed. So when it comes to cameras, let's start off with the front here, because on this year's iPhone 13 lineup, we have the true depth camera. Whether it's the iPhone 13 or the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it is a 12 megapixel front facing camera that's used for Face ID, also for photos and obviously videos, which will allow 4K up to 60 frames per second. Now, one of the interesting things about that front-facing camera is the fact that it is used for biometrics. Unlike the new iPad mini that allows you to have Touch ID in the power button, Apple are opting for only one biometric kind of option within their devices. So either Touch ID like on the iPad mini or Face ID on the iPhones. It would have been nice to see them incorporate both in 2021. Now, when it comes to the rear cameras, both of these devices have had updates. On the iPhone 13, we have the dual camera setup made up of a wide and ultra wide. Now, on the wide camera, this has an update both to the sensor, so it's a larger sensor, but also now sensor shift OIS has been incorporated here. Now, on the iPhone 13 Pro Max, we have a triple camera setup. So that's made up of an ultra wide, a wide, and then a telephoto. So that telephoto being one additional lens or camera that you get over the iPhone 13. There have been updates to the sensor, to also the OIS technology, and overall better performance in particularly low light on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So this is a look at video on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. The iPhone traditionally has done really well when it comes to video, so much so that I actually use it for vlogging and a few other pieces of video content that I create. This is an example of 4K 60 frames per second shot on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. And now this year, also with the telephoto, you get 3x. So that should also improve on video when you need that for more up close. So when it comes to photography, there's something new called photographic styles. And this is the ability to take advantage of the image pipeline, and it allows you to make the right amount of adjustment to different parts of the photo. Now the iPhone 13 Pro Max also has macro mode, and this is using the ultra wide camera. When you come up close to a subject, it will switch so that you're able to take macro photos and video. But later on this year, there should be a software update that will allow users control over that. Now there's one other cool feature called cinematic mode. It's available for both iPhone 13 and the Pro models, and it uses a concept in cinematography of rack focus. This changes up the depth of field and focus in a particular scene. Now this isn't something that I've mastered, I'm still getting my head around it, but it's quite cool because you can use this if you're going to be using your iPhone for various filming styles like this. And what's really cool is that those changes can be made at the time of recording, but also post-recording. So that's the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this year's iPhones. Plus, which one of these would you choose if you were to get one? Plus, if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that subscribe button, hit like, and check out this other video over here next. Peace and blessings.